Oh, that's what they called the League Cup back in the 70s. Oh, hi. Didn't see you there. I'm Carl Anka, and I'm here to talk to you about Mason Mount. Don't worry about what the shirt is. It's from Ghana. It's cool. And yes, I've been going to the gym. Thank you very much for noticing. So, Mason Mount, the Chelsea midfielder that managers really like, but loads of football fans wonder it is a teacher's pet. Why do so many clubs want him? Where's he going to end up next? I've got in front of me, here's Smart Scout pizza charts. If you're not familiar with Smart Scout pizza charts, I mean, hello, welcome to Tifo. We use these a lot. What we do here is we take a number of actions that a football player can do on the football field, and then we give them a score between 0 and 99 based on whether how often they do in a game or how good they are at a certain action. So the bigger the wedge, the better, generally. So one big thing in 2021, when Mason Mount was being used under Thomas Tuchel, is his XG from ball progression, right? Mason Mount was very, very good at getting the ball from the middle third into that final third. He was also a okay progressive passer. He passed a lot sideways, but he wasn't the main creative force in a Chelsea team that also didn't create too many goals under Thomas Tuchel. One thing about Mason Mount's passing range is that he's got a lovely little ball striking ability. He's a very good box-to-box midfielder, great engine on him, and while he's not the most authoritative passer, he can be a very good secondary creator. You don't want him to be the number one option in the middle third, but if you're secondary option, you can do a lot worse than Mason Mount. And what you find out is, while managers love Mason Mount for the stuff he does on the ball, they adore him for his defensive work. Look at these red colors here, right? Especially the defending impact and disrupting opposition moves. Mason Mount is a above average on-ball creator, but his true strength is what he does off the ball. He is a professional pest if you're an opposition team. He is very, very good at going from deeper areas and absolutely leading your front press. So he can turn from a box-to-box midfielder into a quasi number 10. He can also completely disrupt any plans you have for your deep lying midfielder. He's very, very good at setting midfield traps. He's very, very good at spotting midfield traps and avoiding cover shadow and just basically disrupting all matter of things. If there are some weaknesses of Mason Mount, he's not the best in the air. You see these scores here? Mount likes making a leap if there's any long balls there, but if he can get bullied in the air, he'll work on that one day. While he's a very, very good cog in a well-oiled machine, he can't save a team all of himself. I call him a floor-raising football player rather than someone who raises the ceiling. If you look at his pizza chart from this season, not many Chelsea players had a great 22-23 season, but he's way down in a number of key factors. He's getting fewer touches in the final third, he's carrying the ball a lot less, and he's taking fewer shots here. As you can see, XG from shot creation. In a Chelsea team that is just a big mash of weird clashing styles and parts, and interim Frank Lampard can't quite figure out what to do, and Graham Potter was having players get changed in the hall. Mason Mount is finding things a little bit difficult, which means a number of Premier League teams are possibly queuing up for Mason Mount's services. Again, Mason Mount, not a bad player. He is above average in a number of things on the ball for creative midfielders in the Premier League, and he's exceptional off the ball. Loads of defensive things for creative midfielders, which means there's a number of Premier League teams, some of them who are top 6 rivals, who are possibly eyeing him up. So how could he work for other teams? In front of me is Liverpool starting them for their 4-3 victory over Tottenham Hotspur. How could Mason Mount work into this? As you've seen in recent games, Trent Alexander-Arnold has been pushing up from right back to create a box midfield with Fabinho and others, while Cody Gakpo often drops deep and tries to hit players like Diaz and Salah as they approach the penalty area. You can imagine if you have a player like Trent Alexander-Arnold inverting, someone who's got the defensive intelligence of a Mason Mount could also cover space when Trent pushes forward, or Mount could be a member of a midfield that works to win the ball tirelessly. So players like Gakpo, like Diaz, like Salah, or even someone like Jota instead of Gakpo can play much higher into the opposition's penalty area. If you move Jones out for Henderson and move Mount over to left half space, you could have a very good playing relationship with the likes of Mr. Robertson and with Diaz. Remember, Mount really likes this half space, and he's got a decent switch over to the right-hand side for your fullbacks like Alexander-Arnold or indeed Mo Salah. One other example? Let's have a look at Arsenal. In front of me is Arsenal's starting 11 from their 3-1 victory over a Mason Mountless Chelsea team. If you watched that game, you may have seen Arsenal find it very, very easy to pass just completely through Chelsea's central midfield. No one really got a handle on Odegaard, who scored 2 goals. You get the sense if Mason Mount was there, Frank Lampard would have told him to try and make sure Odegaard had a terrible day. But he wasn't. So how would it work if he was Odegaard's teammate? Well, what you might get is something like this. It might be Granit Xhaka for Mason Mount to be a secondary playmaker next to Odegaard and also getting balls to the likes of Saka and also to help someone like Trossard or indeed Martinelli if Martinelli will start. If you think of a passing triangle between Zinchenko, Mount and Martinelli, that offers you a lot of energy from Mount and Martinelli, a lot of attacking play from Martinelli and his directness towards goal, and a lot of defensive security with Mount being able to drop deep in Zinchenko inverts as well. That's a very, very fun rotation. That's the sort of thing that Mikel Arteta quite likes having at Arsenal. And Mason Mount's ability to stop the opposition's playmakers is the sort of thing that makes Arteta, Southgate, Tuchel, Lampard, Potter. Is there another Chelsea manager in there? There's so many Chelsea managers in there. That's what makes people love Mason Mount so much. Where's Mason Mount going to go next? Well, we don't know yet. He hasn't signed a new contract extension with Chelsea at the moment, and his contract ends in 2024. If you are a big boffin who wears stuff like this and does accounting like this, you might go, Chelsea spent a lot of money in the last 2 windows and think a player like Mason Mount could be sold as pure profit and help you avoid FFP legislation. If you're a Chelsea fan that really believes in carbon, you might hate the idea of selling Mason Mount, considering he did get you assists in the Champions League final and he's a very, very useful, very, very good central midfield player. If you're a team like Liverpool, Mason Mount will be very, very appealing in your 4-3-3 to do a role similar to that Adam Lallana filled a couple of years ago. If you're a team like Arsenal, Mason Mount might be another way to add a little extra defensive security and take some of the attacking burden off someone like Martin Odegaard, albeit it might be at the detriment of losing a player like Granit Xhaka. While Mount is above average in the attacking play, he doesn't quite have Granit Xhaka's long-range pingers. This is the interesting thing about Mason Mount. He's good at loads of things. He doesn't really have too many weaknesses. That's why managers like him. He's also good at doing loads of things that don't always get picked up by television cameras. And also, you know, sometimes he has a really nice skin fade as well. So yeah, Mason Mount. That's why loads of managers like him. That's why he's really interesting to loads of Premier League teams. That's why you should probably keep an eye on his transfer future, both in this summer and the seasons to come. All right, I'm off. Take care. Bye.
If you like this video, please consider subscribing to the channel. The Athletic is home to some of the world's best sports journalists, including journalists dedicated to each Premier League team, so every fan gets the coverage they deserve, not just the big clubs. And you can try it for free now for 30 days. See the link in the description.